I think that gender inequality was one of the first thoughts that I remember having as a young girl. Patriarchy was endemic. I just looked at the way boys were treated as opposed to the way girls were treated. Domestic violence is real in rural communities, but it's a very hidden issue, unlike in metropolitan areas. There's nobody there to hear her screams, and it's only her and the children there to left to fend for herself. They're the sort of cases that keep us awake at night. Safety is our first priority. We work really quickly with SAPOL to get an intervention order in place if we can. We try and assist her to remain in her home. However, that place may never be safe for her. So it's really overwhelming for her. She's left her home, she's left her car, she's left her food, she's left her clothes, the children's toys, the school that the children were at, they've been ripped out of that. She's too scared sometimes to put an intervention order in place because he will become even angrier in her mind, and she believes that. Children are often on the lookout for the next escalation of violence, and they can't participate in the playground. They've moved school so many times that, that finding good peer relationships is difficult. They move because he's going to find them. And in the rural community, which is a smaller community, that's so much easier and it's so much harder for them to find a safe place. At Centacare Domestic Violence Service, our philosophy is to empower her rather than do things for her. So we support her to get an intervention order, to put safety plans in place for her and her children. We encourage her to develop a confidence. The specialist skill is about providing the woman with support to increase her safety, to reduce the risk, but also to overcome the poverty or deal with the mental health disorders that have developed. Thankfully now she doesn't have to go to court because we've advocated for legislative change in this area, but we will stay with her and support her right through the legal process for as long as she needs. By moving the family into affordable accommodation, we can support that family to move on so that the children go to school. We can assist them to get the uniforms and the books they need. We can assist them to make the connections they need to make in the community so they can then engage in their learning and engage in developing good relationships rather than being on the lookout for the next escalation of violence. Violence against women is criminal, and it's also preventable. I'm very lucky to be able to work in this sector and make a small difference towards it. I want to see that we're living in a world where women and children can live a safe and better life.